Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Front Row Access Podcast. I am your host, Steven Russo.
And I'm Gavin. We have returned after our post WrestleMania Roman Reigns break.
Yeah, we totally went on a Roman Reigns-esque WrestleMania break, yo. So, apologies for no coverage on, what was it, Backlash, King and Queen of the Ring, but we're back for this one.
Clash at the Castle.
Clash of the Cat, yeah, we fucking missed that shit too. Yeah, our bad, guys. We took a quarter of a year out. But now we're back. As y'all probably know, we have Money in the Bank this Saturday night at 7 p.m. I think it starts, right?
7 or 8. Let me double check that actually.
All right, we're gonna get a start time right now, but they are going live from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and of course, Money in the Bank is one of those pay-per-views that, it's very important and really sets up an angle as to what WWE storytelling is going to be like.
6:30
6:30. Okay, that's
p.m.
6:30 p.m. Is that like just the kickoff show, or is that?
I'm. Oh, it says a 6:30 p.m. Eastern time start
Oh,
date.
okay. Well, fuck it.
Yeah.
6:30 it is then. I thought it was 7. But anyway, Money in the Bank
Well,
is
uh,
still
this website says 7, so the kickoff. No, but the kickoff show is usually an hour at least.
usually. Mhm. Well, fuck it. Regardless, at least it's at a normal time this time, because the past couple of WWE pay-per-views have been, or PLEs. They're not called pay-per-views anymore. I'm still trying to kick that habit. But they have all been in like 12 or 2 in the afternoon, and I'm like, bro, I'm working, and I can't do it. But it is what it is. We got there. We obviously watched the events. We just did not give you guys a podcast on it. But this one right here, we really wanted to make sure we got it out there for you guys because it's Money in the Bank, as it's such an important event for WWE, because it, like I said, it gives the blueprint for what the next year's worth of storytelling is going to be, because whoever holds that briefcase basically has gold in their hands. It just, when are you going to cash it in to get the gold?
Unless you're Austin Theory.
Unless you're Austin Theory. Or John Cena, for that matter. But,
Or Otis.
Otis, yeah. Fucking Otis got the fucking Money in the Bank at one point. I'm like, or Brock oh, wait, Brock Lesnar was successful, wasn't he? Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Why would they?
Otis won it and then lost the briefcase itself to the Miz.
That's just poor Otis. Got screwed by Chad Gable. Got screwed by Miz. This poor guy. But anyway, before we get further into this thing, Pepsi, hit us up. We got Star Spangled Splash right here. We also got good old Freedom Fusion. These are the new Pepsi Mountain Dew flavors for the 4th of July. And
Delicious.
it just so happens that today, the day we're filming this on, is actually, it's the 4th of July, guys. So happy 4th of July to all of our American viewers.
Hence why we're donned in
Cody
all
Rhodes.
American Nightmare gear.
Yeah, of course. We gotta. Tis the season, right? I even got my Roman Reigns like stars and stripes shirt underneath it.
Mine's in the wash.
So I also have one that's The Rock, but that's in the wash. So.
And we're mad at him still.
And yeah, we're mad at him still. So it's good. Alrighty. So now that we've taken our first sip break, let's go over this card. And I mean, well, before we go into the card, yeah, so it's really important, this whole entire pay per view. And last year, where were they? England? Yeah.
London.
Yeah, London, England. So last year, good old Damian Priest had won the men's Money in the Bank briefcase, and Io Sky won the women's. Also, there was a whole Bloodline Civil War that happened, had Money in the Bank last year. So crazy to see how far WWE has come as far as narrative storytelling is concerned since then, because a lot of that stuff feels like old news now, right? But it was really just 1 year ago. So it just goes to show how amazing this freaking product is, and of course last year's Money in the Bank was very, very well done. I was very happy with it, weren't you?
Oh yeah, last year's Money in the Bank was goddamn phenomenal. I mean, you look at Io Sky, she cashed in at SummerSlam and she held her title all the way to WrestleMania, and Priest became the second person in history to cash in at WrestleMania successfully, and he's still champion right now. Will he still be champion SummerSlam? Who knows? Will he still be champion Saturday night?
Yeah,
Who knows?
So that'll just segue us right to the five match card that we have here for Money in the Bank. So obviously we have a 6-man tag team match, which I think is actually going to turn into an 8-man at some point. But we have the Bloodline versus Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton. That's going down.
For sure.
And of course they have Jacob Fatu on the cover there. So I'm like, huh. Numbers game, huh? I think there's going to be a little surprise, but that's more into it when we get to that match. But we also have Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. That's also going down on this card. And you have Sami Zayn, our current Intercontinental Champion. He won that back at WrestleMania, as none of us predicted during the WrestleMania pay-per-view.
That was the only match we got wrong.
That was the only. We got everything else right. Everything else was correct, except for that one, because god damn it, nobody was expecting Sami Zayn to be the one to do it. But shit, he did it, and he's been very impressed with his title reign. So Sami Zayn, our Intercontinental Champion, is going to be going against Mr. Braun Breaker, one of the newest toys that the WWE has been playing with a lot lately, and it looks to be a main eventer well into the future, the next 10, 15, maybe even 20 years. It seems like Braun Breaker is going to be all the rage. So, we also got on this card the men's Money in the Bank and the women's Money in the Bank, obviously. But so the men's Money in the Bank lineup is going to be Jey Uso, LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, Carmelo Hayes, Chad Gable, and Andrade. And then, of course, the women's side of things, we have Chelsea Green, Io Sky, Lyra Valkyria, Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, and Zoe Stark. And they're all going to be, it's going to be chaotic matches, both of these things, I'm pretty sure. It's going to be extremely entertaining, and I think it's going to be super fun to see what happens when the winner eventually becomes the winner. Because we got a couple of cases for a lot of different people on here. Of course, we're going to give you our predictions. We're going to go in depth with the stories and all that, so we can catch you guys up on things, just in case you haven't been watching lately, which, it happens. We have lives. So, or if you're new to it and you just want to get into it, this is actually a pretty good pay-per-view to get into it with, because it's one of the better ones of the year. And usually it becomes it's a pretty good show. And I've been impressed with almost every single Money in the Bank pay-per-view that there's ever been. So,
And because of the briefcase itself, this PLE is where a good number of storylines begin.
mm-hmm. Thank you, good sir. Anyway, so let's go into that first match that I mentioned. We have the Bloodline, which it's not Roman, Jimmy, Jay, and Solo. It's still Solo, but it's now Tama Tonga, Tongaloa, Jacob Fatu, and then, of course, your new tribal chief, Solo Sikoa, which I refuse to even say that that's the case. That's why I went like that when I said tribal chief.
And no Heyman, because they fucking murdered him.
Yeah, they straight murdered Heyman. Paul Heyman took a fucking table bump last week on
After not sleeping the night before, mind you.
Yeah, so dude took quite the fucking table bump on last week on SmackDown. So he's expelled from the bloodline. So that is the bloodline we're talking about. We're talking about Solo Sikoa's bloodline with the Tonga brothers, Jacob Fatu, and then of course himself. And then we're going up against our current WWE champion, Cody Rhodes. And then we have Kevin Owens and Randy Orton at Team RKO, if you will. So, all right, guys. I don't really think I need to explain much history between between the three of those guys and, well, the bloodline, and the bloodline with those three guys. These things started years ago. Like all three of the Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton have been feuding with the bloodline itself for like the past, 2 years for Cody, like 4 years for Kevin Owens.
Goddamn, like 40 years for the Rhodes family with Dusty and Sika. Rest in peace.
Oh, yes, and of course, as we mentioned in the last podcast when I was here with Anthony, Sika Anawai did pass on, unfortunately. What was he, 70, 89? Was he 79 or 89? 79. 79 years old.
Yeah, for sure, 79.
Legendary tag team guy, but we did our acknowledgement of him at the last podcast, so gonna reiterate that. No need to reiterate that. So, like I said, these guys have been feuding with the Bloodline for a fucking long time now, and it's just recently been rehashed again because, well, Solo Sikoa decided to say, "This my Bloodline now," because Roman Reigns obviously lost at WrestleMania to Cody Rhodes, and then we haven't seen Roman since WrestleMania. I don't even think he was on the next Monday on Raw or SmackDown, so he's just been gone ever since Night 2 of WrestleMania on April 7th. Which I had the joy of being at. It was a tremendous show. Despite me being in the nosebleeds, it was totally friggin' worth it. the atmosphere, the environment, being around a bunch of people, knowing how big the event was, and being able to witness all of these great matches live. It was incredible. And but enough about that. That's in the past. So Bloodline, the new Bloodline with Solo Sikoa has been absolutely fucking shit up lately. Now, as you guys know, the Bloodline, they're no strangers to mugging people. They're no strangers to ambushing people. But usually, it was calculated and with a purpose. These guys just kind of say, "I don't like that guy, so I'm gonna go beat him up." There's no strategy at all, but it just goes to fit Solo Sikoa's character, the Tonga brothers, and apparently Jacob Fatu, who just debuted about what 2 weeks ago now, something like that. He's been signed since like fucking
Yeah.
January. But
Was it
like,
No, I thought it was like a week or two before Mania they signed him.
well, regardless, they did sign him rather recently. So, and we just have not seen him since he finally made his debut 2 weeks ago on SmackDown. And I gotta say, I'm kind of impressed with this whole Jacob Fatu guy. He seems really cool. Seems really fun. I think it's gonna create a very nice new character angle for new story angle for the bloodline and whatnot. So I think he's a great addition. So we should probably go into the Tonga brothers and how they debuted, right? Wasn't it Tama
Mm,
Tonga? He
th-
came in. When did he come in? He came in shortly before Backlash. I remember that. Was it like
he came in during the destruction of Jimmy Uso, I believe.
yes, during the destruction of Jimmy Uso, he did come in. That was shortly after WrestleMania. I think that same week.
Yeah, it was that Friday.
It was that same week, and then Solo expelled Jimmy Uso from the Bloodline, and we haven't seen Jimmy Uso since then. And apparently he's hurt. I think he actually is hurt.
I believe he had two broken ribs.
Yeah, so that's gonna. He should be back soon.
Very soon, I would assume.
He
There's
should
no
be
way a
back soon.
broken rib takes that long.
Do you think he's coming back this pay per view for this? I mean,
He
obviously.
could.
I
Think it's going to turn into a. It's definitely on the bloodline side going to be four people.
uh
Jimmy Uso returns. This is where I think it gets a little iffy because I think the bloodline's going to win.
well, obviously, if you want to legitimize this new bloodline, you have to have them beat
So what's going to happen, I think, is it's going to turn into a 3-on-4 because obviously the entire
bloodline.
bloodline ain't going to stay out of it. So I think to try and even the odds, Jimmy might come and try and help the faces. And during that, they aren't going to know what the fuck's going on. So they're going to start fighting Jimmy too, and that's going to open an opportunity for the new bloodline to capitalize and take a victory.
Yeah, because also that goes into our predictions now. I think we're both in agreement here. The bloodline's winning this one. Bloodline's taking the dub. I mean, if you want to legitimize this new bloodline headed by Solo Sikoa and these new characters that we're playing with, right? You have to have them beat the top baby faces on SmackDown in order to, make them legit. Not that they already aren't legit, but a lot of people aren't really taking them as seriously. I'm a victim myself. I can definitely tell you I wasn't taking this new bloodline seriously until very recently. So with the victory here, I believe all of the bloodline will benefit, and plus, if you're adding all these things, you're involved in all these storyline threads and everything like that. You have a grander story that could play out closer to Survivor Series because I do think early on offset prediction that it's going to be old bloodline versus new bloodline in the War Games match. I think you're in agreement.
For sure.
So it's if you want to make people care and pay attention, you're gonna have Solo Sikoa's bloodline win this uh win this tag team match, and then not only expand the storyline with these three guys, but their own storyline in general with their own threads, their own narratives, their own storylines. So that's basically that. I think it's going to actually. I'm hoping it like a backlash when it was just supposed to be a tag match between Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga versus RKO. Right, and then they just started brawling at the beginning, and then I think it was Nick Aldis that made it a street fight. I think it
Yeah,
was Nick
yeah, it
Aldis
was
that
all
made it a
this.
street fight. I'm hoping that fucking happens again, and we get another street fight because I think that would just be absolute carnage, absolute like super duper fun to watch, and I think it would be a great way to kick off the show for sure. Because I do think that these guys are going to start it off. It's either going to be this or maybe that championship
It's
match.
usually a Money in the Bank match that opens so that there's the allure of a cash in at some point later on.
That's true. But this wouldn't be a bad start though,
It
wouldn't you
it
think?
certainly wouldn't be a bad start, but I do think one of the Money in the Bank matches will be the opener.
Whether it's the men's or the women's, I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
one of the two.
But we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, our next match on the card is going to be Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. And your current champion is Damian Priest. He won that back at WrestleMania after Drew McIntyre had beaten Seth Rollins and held his title for 5 minutes and then got attacked by CM Punk and then cashed in on by Damian Priest. Damian Priest took the opportunity, gave that good old South Ave chokeslam to him, which I'm beginning to like absolutely love that move, if I'm honest with you. And like I know it's just a choke slam, but he sits down at the end of it, but he just executes it so well. And plus he's such a long and lanky dude. Like when he lifts you up, it's gonna be a pretty fucking long way down.
Oh, for sure.
So, I think it's like then plus you add the effect of him sitting down while doing it. That's more downward force going on to you. So I think that's actually a really cool move. I've come to absolutely love the South of Heaven choke slam. And so Damian Priest has been doing great things as champion. Honestly, I wasn't sure when he won that title at Money in the Bank. It was well, not at Money in the Bank, but with the Money in the Bank contract. When he won that title, it was incredible to see him running down. His music hit. He ran down with the briefcase and he cashed in, and then he won. But after all that excitement went away, I was kind of thinking to myself, "Oh shit, they just pulled the fucking trigger on Damian Priest and gave him a world title." I'm like, was that the right move? Like Seth Rollins just had this belt 5 minutes ago, and you go from you go from Seth to Drew to Damian Priest. I wasn't sure about it.
Quick ass transitional champion.
I wasn't I wasn't like after the excitement faded. I was like, shit. Was that the right move? Should they have just kept it on Drew, or should they have even let his cash in be successful? I think his Money in the Bank cash in had to be successful. I just didn't know that he would go after that title. But of course, like that's how Money in the Bank was though back in the day, right? You would cash it in on the world title. Nobody even thought to cash in on a United States title or an Intercontinental Championship. You know what I mean? So like, it kind of had to just for the sake of protecting the Money in the Bank briefcase because for a couple of years because of Roman Reigns, like the Money in the Bank contract, like its value like dropped tremendously because they weren't taking that belt off of Roman, and then let alone when he became the double champ and he became the unified champion, I was like, yeah, there's no way that he's losing either one of those belts like anytime soon. And so, of course, getting the Money in the Bank contract was kind of like a oh whoop de doo, who's the next United States champion, you know? But now it's like now that you saw Damian Priest cash in the way he did, now the way he's carrying himself as world heavyweight champion, I've been impressed with him. Honestly, I think I gave him a little bit too much doubt at the beginning because I was thinking that he would just be like this paper championship, he losing in his first defense, right? Because his first defense was against Jey Uso, and like that's a pretty fucking big guy to have your first title match, your title defense against. I thought like maybe Jay would win that, but nah. It was Damian Priest, and then of course when they threw who'd they throw at him next? They threw Drew at him next, right?
Yep.
And then when they threw Drew at him, I thought that was gonna be his time. But the more I thought about it, the more I was like, maybe you should keep Drew away from this title for a little while until he sorts this shit out with Punk, Because like let's be honest, the Drew McIntyre and CM Punk feud doesn't need a title.
Exactly.
So I was like, okay, yeah, maybe, and they're just in the process because Damian Priest is beating these guys. It's adding more prestige to his title reign, and I've been impressed with the way he carries himself as champion. I mean, he shows up every week, does what he has to do. He's great on the mic. He's great in the ring, and I gotta say, I'm a big fan of Damian Priest now. But you also have Seth Rollins on the other side, who's probably the most uber babyface on Monday Night Raw if your name isn't Jey Uso. You know, so oh, he just came back. He came back from that. What was it? A torn ACL and meniscus, something like that. He had some crazy fucking knee
Seth.
injury. Seth, yeah.
It was a partial. I was a torn MCL, I believe, and a partially torn meniscus.
Mm. And he fucking wrestled on it for 2 nights of WrestleMania. What a fucking trooper. But he's been gone since WrestleMania. Like after he got involved with the last match, and had Roman hit him with the chair and not Cody, and then ultimately leading to Cody's victory. It was we haven't seen him since. And I thought he was like, all right, he gotta go get surgery. He's gotta go get that rehab. That motherfucker came back in what, 2 months, 2.5 months. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, huh? What kind of steroids are they pumping into you, Seth? Like, Jesus Christ. His like he recovered like super quickly. I'm like, this is some John Cena,
Fucking Charlotte Flair's not even back yet.
and she had a very similar injury. Like, like Charlotte Flair, we haven't seen her since like fucking before WrestleMania, before the Royal
We haven't
Rumble.
we haven't seen her since
Well, that's SmackDown we were at, right?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Tribute to the Troops was where we were at
Yeah, that's
was
when she
when
hurt
she got
herself.
injured.
Yeah, that was the last time we said, God damn. Yeah, she's been gone a while. She's been gone since fucking December. It's fucking
She's been gone
July.
like 6.5 months.
Jesus Christ. And it was a similar injury to what Seth had. And now here's Seth back at it 2.5 months later. I'm like, what the fuck did they pump you with? Like, and then now he's back. And I mean, obviously, Monday Night Raw was like struggling a little bit, without having. Obviously, they lost Cody. So they didn't have Cody anymore. Cody went to SmackDown because he won the SmackDown title. So, and then of course you lost Seth Rollins after WrestleMania.
You kind of lost Punk.
You pretty much lost Punk when he
Kind of lost Drew.
kind of lost Drew, and yeah, it's true. So like Monday Night Raw for like a good like 3-4 weeks was struggling a little bit as far as top tier like main event talent guys were concerned. But that's when people like your Jey Usos get over. That's when people like your Chad Gables start to get over because you have a lack of a star, so you have to create one.
Your Ricochets, except he's gone now.
Is your Ricochet? Yeah, is he officially done? Right, his
I
contract's up.
believe so. Yeah, he's gone.
Did he resign to another promotion,
Not that I know of yet.
or is he
I
gonna actually try
also
to negotiate his contract?
I don't think so. But also fucking Dijak never even made it onto an episode of
Yeah,
Raw.
he never did. And then he got fucking, and he's fucking gone. Like, he's gone. I'm like, what the hell, Dijak? I'm like, what the hell, WWE? Why didn't you let Dijak go and cook real quick? Like, you had the perfect opportunity to let him in with the whole, Seth being gone, Drew being gone, Punk being gone.
And celebrity guest match. He's been fucking feuding like hell with Santi.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, Jesus, you had such potential with Dijak, and you could have made him a big star right then and there, but just unfortunately never came to be, and now he's gone, and I'm like, what the heck, WWE? You fucking fumbled out here. But regardless, though, that's when people like Damian Priest will start to get over. People like Jey Uso, Chad Gable, all the people that I mentioned. So now that Seth's back, it's pretty good. It's happy to have him back. CM Punk's pretty looking pretty good. I think he'll be back sooner rather than later, because I think that Punk and Drew match is gonna happen at SummerSlam. So they're gonna start having him show up and appear. And Drew McIntyre's nice and healed now. Obviously, he's going to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match when we get to that. So Raw's looking a little bit better as far as the main event is concerned, but like holy shit, for a little while there we was struggling a little bit. But Triple H, we got to just sit back and let him do his thing, and now we've created so many new narrative story angles that we pretty much recovered from it, and we could probably rode this out for another 2 months if Seth had to be gone for longer. But now that Seth's back, I mean, the sooner the better. But I'm fine with like the way Raw is rolling right now, like prior to when Seth came back. Like that was pretty good. So anyway, um, so or the prediction though. As much as I like Seth Rollins, I don't think he's walking out as the champion. I'm honest. I don't think he's. I think Damian Priest is gonna end up retaining somehow, some way.
See, I'm not entirely sure about that because you did also skip one part of the explanation for this match.
What I miss?
The gentleman's agreement.
Oh yeah,
If
fucking
Damian Priest wins, Seth can no longer challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship as long as Damian Priest is champion. Meanwhile, if Seth Rollins wins, Damian Priest must leave the Judgment Day. So, what I think is actually going to happen, I find a pretty decent possibility that Damian Priest loses, is forced to leave the Judgment Day, and then wins the title back in a rematch against Seth Rollins. I think this is a way to remove Priest from the Judgment Day.
so that he can shine on his own
Exactly.
and do his thing. Will he stay a heel though? That's the thing.
I think that depends
on who
On
wins. Hmm.
no, I think whether he stays a heel or not, if he's removed from the Judgment Day, depends on the reaction of Balor.
True.
And assuming what I think Balor's reaction would be, I believe it would turn Priest into a babyface.
Yeah, because I mean, Finn and Damian, they were fighting pretty hard last week, this past week on Raw. So definitely, and the past 2 weeks on Raw, they've been kind of butting heads. I mean, Damian Priest and Finn Balor have bumped heads before, but like this time it's a little different. It seems a little bit more, I guess, serious now that Damian Priest is the world champion. Finn Balor's not. Finn Balor's jealous. like
Oh, for sure, he had a 22-hour long title reign.
Finn Balor's jealous. He wants what Damian has. So or but that's when I come into like why I think he might win, because then Damian Priest just leaves the Judgment Day regardless, because Finn and Damian are gonna go at it at SummerSlam.
Not if Damien's the champion. Gunta.
Ah, shit, that's right. Gunther does have the
That's
world title
another
shot.
reason why I think Damien might lose the title.
Yeah, because then Seth would have to put over Gunther, because I'm pretty sure Gunther's winning, man.
Oh, Gunta's going
He's gonna
into
win.
he's going into Bash in Berlin as the world heavyweight champion.
100%. He's gonna win at SummerSlam. But
Now the thing there is, does the WWE pass up this huge storyline opportunity just to give Priest another month as champion?
this is very true. Well, we'll have to see how it plays out. It's out there. You made a pretty good case. So we'll see what has to happen there. So you got Seth regaining,
Yep.
and then
And it's nothing more than just because of the storyline opportunities.
yeah, there's a whole lot that can
It,
happen with the whole fracture of the Judgment Day and how that'll affect Rhea's return. I can definitely see where you're coming from.
if it wasn't in such a way like this to where Gunta would have been the limiter at SummerSlam, I totally would have said Priest was retaining, but I just can't do it with the possibilities of the storyline.
Yeah, shit, I keep forgetting that. I keep forgetting that. Yeah, Gunther's the king of the ring. How could I forget that Gunther's
It's
the
because
king
he
of the
hasn't been
ring?
on TV in like a month and a half.
That's true. He really hasn't shown up all that much. I wonder what happened. I hope it's okay.
I'm sure he's fine. I mean, you really don't need him to show up on TV until the build up to SummerSlam because he is what he is.
He'll probably be back like the Monday after. No, the Monday after Money in the Bank.
Yeah, he'll probably be back this Monday.
So anyway, and I got Damian Priest retaining. So we'll see what has to happen there. But our next one, we have another championship match on this card. And we got Sami Zayn, our Intercontinental Champion, versus Braun Breaker, WWE's newest toy lately that they've been doing a whole lot with. So,
Oh yeah, the old. My name is Ricochet, and I'm leaving this company. All right, we're gonna have Braun Breaker fucking murder you.
we're gonna have Braun Breaker murder you as you're leaving the company. That's how we're gonna write you off television. So, anyway, Braun Breaker has been pretty scary lately, and I've been very impressed with him. This dude is an athletic freak, and as I mentioned at the top of this podcast, he is a future, he's the future. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure the WWE is going to put all their chips into him at some point in his career, and he's going to be one of the driving factors of the main event scene in the next 10, 15 years.
This fucking freak of nature runs the ropes at 23 miles per hour.
That's speeding in some school zones. It really is.
Speeding in every school zone. It's 20 miles per hour limit in the school zone.
Yep, so that's speeding in school zones, man. Like,
Imagine putting a kid in front of Braun Breaker running the ropes.
dude, that kid's dying. Or getting very seriously injured.
Yeah, that kid's going to the hospital.
That
for
kid's
sure.
going to the hospital with a couple broken bones.
Probably more than just broken bones, because it depends on how Braun runs into them. Is he running into them just straight up, or is he fucking spearing them?
Oh my god, that Braun Breaker's spear, man, is incredible. Have y'all seen
Best spear in the business?
best spear in the business? Better than we've seen some good ones. Goldberg's is pretty good. Roman Reigns is iconic. Edge is iconic, but like the spear that is probably just the most devastating looking thing ever would be Braun Breaker, because he just fucking launches himself into you.
Yeah, it's just, you can't beat Braun Breaker's spear for sure.
Like he and just because his legs are so damn strong, he springs off of him so good. And then when he goes into you, it looks like he basically tears you in half as
But
he's doing it.
imagine catching a spear at 23 miles per hour.
Like
You're fucked.
I'm fucked. Like my ribs are gone. My sternum is collapsed. Like it's pretty bad. Especially me. I'm small, man. I'm 5'7" and 136 pounds. Like uh, I'm dead. And this is why I do MMA and not any other sports. Because I could win here. But anyway,
Weight classes.
yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm fucking small. Anyway, um, Braun Breaker's been scary. I've been impressed with the guy. I think he's awesome every single time. He is must see TV every Monday night on Raw, and I'm just so intrigued as to what he's gonna do in the future, and it could very much start here. Sami Zayn has been incredible lately. Obviously, the past like 3 years of his career have been nothing short of like amazing,
Miraculous.
miraculous. Like it's incredible. This dude that was subjected to the lower mid card at the beginning of 2022 to now being in title matches, being an Intercontinental Champion again with meaning this time.
Ending two record-breaking reigns in two WrestleManias.
Exactly. Like the beating the Usos with Kevin Owens back at WrestleMania 39, and then beating Gunther's 666-day reign at WrestleMania 40. This
Nice number.
very nice number. But like Sami Zayn's career has been nothing short of like just magical in the past 2 3 years or so, 2 years. So like it's just insane the way Sami Zayn has been lately, and I think he definitely was a very good choice to end Gunther's reign and start Gunther's main event push, you know. And but here's this Braun Breaker guy that they've been playing a lot with lately, and obviously he's got all this potential in the world. And Sami Zayn also has his hands full with a lot of other things that are going on. I mean, for the past like 2 3 months or so, he's mostly been in a little engaged feud with Chad Gable and the Alpha Academy, like trying to pull the Alpha Academy members away from Chad Gable because Chad Gable went just uber heel mode
And succeeded.
and succeeded and then he's just challenged him twice for the belt, I believe.
No,
And
they had like 4 matches.
yeah, they had like four matches with each other. So Sammy's been busy with the Alpha Academy lately. Looks like that narrative is starting to shift now with Chad Gable doing his thing with the Wyatts now, with the Wyatt Six. But like Sammy's had his hands full lately. He had Gunta, then he had Gable, then he had the rest of the Alpha Academy. Now he has fucking Braun Breaker. So I'm like, yikes.
Oh, he had Bronson Reed as well.
Oh yeah, Bronson Reed.
Thank God he didn't win.
Bronson Reed's not winning shit, man. At least not anytime soon. Like, not to any fault of his kind of fault of his own. I'm really not intrigued by his character, but I'm sure he's a great guy. But I just don't care to. I just don't care for his character.
I mean, his whole character is being a big guy whose number one move is belly flopping off a rope.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Like, what kind of big guy's number one move is simply taking a jump off a rope?
And that's it. Just belly flopping onto a guy. Like it's just he's not intriguing, and I don't know about his future currently as the current character that he is.
He hasn't even been on TV in almost a month.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right. We haven't seen him in a while. Maybe. I mean, didn't he just have a kid though? That
He had his kid like right
elimination chamber
elimination chamber,
around there.
so it's been long enough to where he doesn't really need to be
Present,
yeah.
but
Like
I mean,
obviously he needs
he
to
still
be
needs to be
present,
present. He
but
needs to be a dad.
he,
But
most these guys do it all the time. They're present. They're just out 2 or 3 days out of the week, so they can travel, do that. Like they're still present. I mean,
maybe he took a couple of weeks vacation. I
but
don't know.
I think this is a matter of creative doesn't know what else to do with him, so they're just throwing him in the live shows.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, his whole character is being big and trying to get the Intercontinental Championship. He loses every time he goes for the Intercontinental Championship. So what do you do now? You wait until there's a new champion so he can lose to the next one.
Pretty much. Yeah, he's just not interesting right now. But I don't know, man. This match I'm very kind of torn on between Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker because on one hand I'm like, if you really want to start legitimizing Braun Breaker and setting him up to be this perennial main eventer in the future, then you kind of got to start it early. like right now. And I mean, Sammy has had an incredible couple of years, and he's been doing very well as Intercontinental Champion. But like, and again, I'm sure they can always make new feuds with him and all of that. But it's just, ah, Sami Zayn's also just beat Gunther's reign. So if he like goes and loses the title now, just what 3 months after he won it, that kind of diminishes Gunther's reign.
It doesn't diminish Gunta's reign at all. It just means Sammy's reign wasn't nearly as good.
Yeah, but like, when you got one really good champion, you kind of need the other one to follow. And but it's just
But you also got to think about the build-up of Braun.
and how
Like his build-up, he murdered Ricochet. He murdered Ilya. Who else did he have a match against? Was it just those two? No, he murdered jobber after jobber.
those poor jobbers, man, just got
I mean,
absolutely reamed by Braun
he's fucking
Breaker.
killing everybody. I mean, Pierce made it a point to not put him in King of the Ring. He would
Yep,
have killed everybody in that tournament. He would have. I think he would have beat Gunta. I
probably.
think
Yeah,
Braun would have been the King of the Ring if he was in that tournament. But you know what? Creatively, they didn't want to put it there yet,
yeah.
so they wrote it in a way that Pierce wasn't there. So they're not going to put him in for a championship and make him lose it right away. I think for sure Braun is going to win this, and then they're going to bring back Bronson Reed to be his first victim because you know what? That's all Bronson's good for.
Getting job done by new champions and the Intercontinental Champion. Yeah, but like early on, I mean, there's a reason because like I go back and forth with this match a lot. Like this is by far the hardest thing that I've had to think about giving my prediction of. But I think for now, I'm going to give it to Braun Breaker. Is going to be the one that ends Sammy's reign and starts his career like as this next top guy now with the Intercontinental Championship. So like I'll say like 55%. I believe that Braun Breaker's going to win this match. It's not with much certainty, but I think he's got it. But it's definitely complicated. You can make an argument for both. When I wouldn't be mad either way, whether Braun won or Sammy won. So regardless, I guess I'm gonna be happy with the result of this match because I'm a big Sami Zayn guy. I love Sami Zayn a lot, but I also really love Braun Breaker. So like whoever wins this wins this. But I think at this point in time, I think Braun Breaker needs the Intercontinental Championship more than Sami Zayn does. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Braun Breaker. Becomes your new champion here.
I just realized something.
Yeah.
There is no shot the women's Money in the Bank has a cash in because there's no women's champion match.
Nope. Because Liv's messing around with Judgment Day and Bailey's got her own thing going on. Uh,
Giggity.
Bailey's got her own thing going on, so I don't
Dude,
know.
Liv is getting after it.
Liv's getting after it with Dominic Mysterio, and she has like no contenders right now. Like she'll have a
Well,
contender
she has
once Rhea
Zelina.
returns, and yeah. Come on, did we really think Zelina was gonna beat her? Let's be honest.
Hey, man. If Dom's deadbeat dad didn't get involved, it was a possibility.
I just don't think Liv Morgan's losing that title to anybody that isn't named Rhea Ripley. So like she's just kind of keeping it warm for now. Plus with the lack of like really top talent on Raw, it's a little hard because I mean you got Becky's gone tentatively. Well I shouldn't even say tentatively. She's
In
gone for the foreseeable future.
indefinitely.
Yeah, she's gone for the foreseeable future, if not indefinitely. And then you have Rhea injured or pregnant. I'm not sure what she is. Maybe I think she had a shoulder injury going into the WrestleMania match, but obviously it wasn't caused by Liv Morgan. That's just how they wrote it off to create the story angle between the two of them.
And she got married.
Yeah, and Rhea just got married, so like, who the hell knows when Rhea's gonna be back? She's gone tentatively, but she will be back, and that championship will be hers again.
And she will be the biggest women babyface on the entire roster.
Yeah, I was gonna say on Raw, if not Raw, then the entire roster, because she's Rhea Bloody Ripley. So with Rhea gone, Becky gone indefinitely, and then what are you really left with? I mean, Io, but Io's kind of doing her thing with Damage Control. That's a whole narrative angle.
You're left with pretty much every woman in that match.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just, and a lot of the top talent is on like main event caliber girls are all on SmackDown.
And I mean, like,
So
yeah, Nia Jax, you could put her in this match, but she doesn't fucking need the match. She's queen of the ring. She's getting her title match at SummerSlam.
wait, isn't she SmackDown, Nia?
We were talking about the entire roster lacking women for a bit.
I was talking about just Raw, man. I think there was a loss in translation here.
There was a little bit of a loss of translation.
I
All
was just
right,
talking Raw.
I was talking to all of them.
Nah, all of them. Nah, there's no shortage of main event talent at all in the women's division right now, but they're all mostly on SmackDown. They're not really on Raw. So I was talking like with Liv Morgan's title reign, who's gonna be the one to do it. I mean, it's gonna be Rhea, but like she's got nobody right now. She's just kind of keeping it warm. But regardless,
I mean, she has Zoe. You could push Zoe again.
you could push Zoe again, but in order for Zoe to get that push again, she needs to, I think, get away from Shayna and then start doing her own thing. But she's doing good things with Shayna though. So like, do they really want to take her away from Shayna right now? You know what I mean? I don't know. Fucking Trish Stratus should have had a feud with her.
That would have skyrocketed her
That would
stuff.
have. We'd be talking about Zoe Stark in a whole different light if that happened. But nope. Here we are. Main event talent on Raw's struggling a little bit. I mean, you got Io and you got. I mean, obviously they're making Lyra look like this ultimate main eventer, which she can be and will be in the future. But then you have Liv Morgan, who's a superstar in her own right. Alexa Bliss is gone, so fucking nowhere to be seen. And Rhea's gone, Becky's gone, so like Raw's struggling with main event women right now. But anyway, we're gonna go into the Money in the Bank matches now.
Might as well start with the women's. We've been
Yeah, we
talking
were just
about
been
them.
talking about the women, so let's start with. I was gonna do the women's last, but let's fucking do it. We're gonna go ladies first here. So women's Money in the Bank ladder match is going to be Chelsea Green, Io Sky, Lyra Valkyria, Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, and Zoe Stark. Now
What
you
the hell's
see,
that, man?
hmm?
What the hell's that?
What the hell's what?
You didn't say Chelsea's name right.
Chelsea Green.
There you go.
There we go. And then, so this is actually a pretty good looking women's match, if I'm being honest with you. And I think every woman on here would benefit from becoming a Miss Money in the Bank. Maybe not Naomi so much because I don't think really Naomi really needs it. But everybody else on here, 100%. And even if
Io's not winning.
Io's definitely not winning for sure.
Naomi's not winning.
Naomi definitely will not be winning.
I honestly don't think any of the Raw women are gonna win.
Yeah, and I don't think Lyra's gonna do it. Zoe won't do it.
So it really lies in, does the better storyline lie within Chelsea, or does it lie within Tiffany?
And with Tiffany going off on an angle with Nia Jax, doing her thing with her, and probably up for building her up for SummerSlam, and then maybe there's a betrayal somewhere in between, and then maybe you have Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax go at each other at some point. But because I mean, let's be honest, they're both heels. They're gonna turn each other. They're gonna turn on each other at some point. So it's just like A-Town Down Under. Now Austin Theory looking like he's about to break away from Grayson Waller right now. So I think Tiffany Stratton's gonna have some. I mean, Tiffany Stratton's also extremely young. I think she's like 26, like 25, 26. She's
young.
very, very young, and she can easily be put into next year's Money in the Bank and become Miss Money in the Bank that way. Do I think Tiffany Stratton can fit the role of Miss Money in the Bank perfectly? Yes. Would I be angry if she won this year's Money in the Bank? No.
I
But
wouldn't either.
do I think that she's gonna win it? No. So that means tell you guys I think your new Miss Money in the Bank is gonna be Chelsea Green.
I 100% agree. I think just the sheer comedy factor we can get from it. I mean, fuck, you all saw her in the
Elimination Chamber match. That was funny.
no, she wasn't in.
Oh no, not the Elimination Royal Rumble. Yep.
Yeah, in the Royal Rumble, in the last chance match to get into the Elimination Chamber. I mean, just her entire existence is a huge comedy show. So just take a second and imagine her with the briefcase.
It's just gonna be incredible.
I can just picture like
multiple failed cash-ins.
Yeah, several failed cash-in attempts. You got her like trying to like how she had the luchador mask a couple weeks ago, just having her sit in the crowd with this fucking insane disguise on, watching the
watching the product and just
while watching the women's title matches. I mean, it's incredible. And like also you think you have right now you have NXT.
hmm
And NXT with the Women's North American Championship.
hmm
Who's to say that within the next year that they don't bring a mid-card title to the women's division and they turn that into Chelsea just walking up to management and saying, "Here's my briefcase, give me the title."
She totally would too. That's the thing. She can play the Miss Money in the Bank role so well. She's so snivy and so like politicky. She's gonna go like absolutely ballistic, and she's gonna be like must see television with this
Yeah,
briefcase.
it's gonna be peak. Like she's fucking hilarious.
And then like also Chelsea Green isn't as young as everybody else that's in this match,
I
so
think she's in her mid 30s.
like her window of opportunity of becoming a big star. I mean, she already is a pretty good star in the mid card, but like her window of opportunity to getting to that upper echelon, that next level type of star is like right now. Like she kind of needs it, and I think because you could put any one of these women in next year's Money in the Bank, and they'll be just fine and have the same amount of potential to win. You know, you could put Lyra in next year's. You can put Io. Maybe Io becomes a two-time, but I don't think Io is going to be a two-time this year. I think maybe in the future she could be a two-time. Yes, but it's just it's the same as Zoe. She's young too. Naomi's kind of at a point in her career where she doesn't really need it, and I'm sure you can insert her. I mean, look at what she's been doing with Bailey lately. You can
Oh,
kind of
for
just
sure.
insert her into a main event whenever possible, and it's gonna go very well. So I think the only person that could really benefit from this and needs it is going to be Chelsea Green. Like, so that's why we're going to go. I'm going to go with Chelsea Green to be your new Miss Money in the Bank. So that's what I'm thinking. And plus, I'm so ready for her to be Miss Money in the Bank for the next year. It's gonna be incredible.
100% agree. The winner will be Chelsea Green.
Alrighty, but last but certainly not least, let's cut into the men here. So this men's Money in the Bank match is pretty fucking stacked. I can't even lie to you. But so let's see. We have Jey Uso, we have Drew McIntyre, we have Chad Gable, we have LA Knight, Carmelo Hayes, and Andrade. Guys, that's fucking insane.
Like it's insane thinking you have Andrade in the match and he's the least up there superstar within this match.
It's crazy. And I'm like, at this point in time, and it just seems like a lot of as stacked as this men's Money in the Bank match is, a lot of these guys that are in the men's Money in the Bank match have other threads elsewhere, different storyline threads in other places. You know, you have LA Knight who's doing his thing with Logan Paul. Obviously, I think that's going to cultivate at SummerSlam with a United States Championship match, where I think Logan's going to drop the United States Championship to him. So, you have Carmelo Hayes in here, I mean, he could benefit from becoming Mr. Money in the Bank, but he doesn't really have any threads anywhere. He's like they got the
Yeah, I
complete
thought
opposite.
it's certainly a tad too soon for that
It's
one.
a little bit. I mean, Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker are going to be your next John Cena and Randy Orton's. It's just an eventuality. They're going to build them up to be these big stars, and then, in 3-4 years from now, they're going to be like
World
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 title picture
titles.
guys, like left and right, and it's going to be good. But it's just a little early for Carmelo Hayes. Plus, he doesn't really have any stories anywhere. I mean, he had the match with Cody Rhodes on SmackDown in his first match on the main roster. It was an extremely good match. Don't get me wrong.
He had a slight headbutt with LA Knight
Slight little, yeah.
and then called LA Logan and LA just shut him down.
So I mean, Carmelo Hayes could benefit from becoming Mr. Money in the Bank, but I just don't know what he would do with it. You know, because he has no threads anywhere. He would just be holding a briefcase that has the title shot in it.
I mean, that one could be a case of LA Knight beats Logan Paul and then Carmelo cashes in there.
Yeah, but even then, that's a long stretch. You know.
Yeah.
And then Andrade, I mean, he just came back at the Royal Rumble this past year. And I mean, they've been throwing him into the feuds with the LWO, with Legado del Fantasma, you know, all these guys. But
I mean, yeah, he he's the speed champion and he's been on regular TV like once in the last month and a half and it was just to qualify for Money in the Bank.
which sucks, because I mean, I like Andrade. I think he's fucking awesome. I think he's super cool. I love his move set. I love the way he is in the ring, and I think he's a great character too. So I mean, it sucks that they haven't really been doing too much with him. If he does get this briefcase, yes, it's going to catapult him a little bit. But then again, just like Carmelo Hayes, I just don't think he has anywhere to go.
Yeah, it's not really it's
So,
not a very feasible or sustainable Money in the Bank winner.
but hopefully he looks extremely good in this Money in the Bank match, and it maybe sets him up for a good SummerSlam match. Because I do really like Andrade. Don't get me wrong. I want to see this guy succeed. It's just I don't know where they're gonna put him, and I want him to get built up as a big star. But like, how? You know what I mean? It's like I think he's got so much potential, and he can easily be like, I'm sure with some time and a little bit of like higher profile feuds, this dude could be a world champion, 100%. I could see it in him. It's just I'm not too sure about it right now. So that crosses Andrade off of the list. So that leaves just 3 guys left for us to predict, right? We have Jey Uso, you have Drew McIntyre, and Chad Gable, right?
Yep.
Chad Gable's got his own thing fucking going on with the Wyatts. He fucking died one night on Monday Night Raw when they debuted.
Came back and qualified the next week.
Came back and qualified the next week. Like, dude, like Chad Gable, man. Let's just talk about 2 weeks ago, and he just got fucking he had
Murdered.
He got the worst day of work ever.
He got shot in the head by fucking Uncle Howdy.
Like, the dude had the worst day of work. He lost his match, he lost his crew, and then he lost his life. Like, you know, and then he lost his life. Like, dude just had the worst day of work ever. And, I don't want to hear any of y'all complaining about your days at work. Chad Gable had the worst day of work. That was a good one. I've outdone myself with that. But then again, Chad Gable could make himself to be like a good Mr. Money in the Bank. He's got that sniviness, he's got that opportunist energy, and of course he's probably going to use it on the Intercontinental Championship if he does get it, but like I don't think he needs it. I think what Chad Gable needs to do is keep experimenting with this new character that he has so that he can get himself up here from like here. Like
Oh, for sure.
like he's here.
I think he'll do that within this feud with the White Six.
Exactly. Like he's like right here right now. Before he went heel, he was like down here. Like he's like, and then he got built up here, a little bit, couple narrative threads there. Now like he's like here. Like he's very close to getting to the top here. But like I don't think he needs the money in the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Money in the briefcase.
Money in the briefcase. Yes. At least I'm not saying money in the contract, Michael Cole. Anyway, do your job.
Now, representing Judgment Day.
What the
Bailey!
fucking Bailey with the Judgment Day. Yo, what the fuck happened at last year's Money in the Bank? Literally nobody knew how to do their fucking job.
No, last year's Money in the Bank, they changed the name. They forgot to tell us. It was Money in the Botch Case. I just almost made you spit that out, didn't I?
Yes, sir. I'm okay now, but nah, it's definitely true. Like the commentary team, the ring announcers, they weren't doing shit. I think they even gave like, I think they even gave like the brutality next to like the brutality screen behind fucking what's her face, Bianca Belair.
I think they did actually.
Like,
I could.
Oh
You
man,
might be right. You might be right.
it was so fucking bad. I'm like, y'all just forgot how to do your job real quick. It was a rough day at work. They're probably all jet lagged. But
no excuse this year.
no excuse.
Same
this year.
time zone.
We're in fucking Toronto. They're the same Eastern Standard Time. So let's fucking go. But nah, I don't think Chad Gable needs it. I think what he needs to do is keep doing this thing with his character and keep getting involved with this feud with the Wyatt Six to not only help get himself over, but get the Wyatt Six over too. I mean, Wyatt Six are already pretty much over. They got the legacy of Bray Wyatt behind them. That really helps them. But I think both can mutually benefit from it, and some great character work can be done with Chad Gable. We're already starting to see it happen. I mean, look at him going back to where he came from because he feels threatened and whatnot. It's like some good like heel character work. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's where Chad Gable's future lies, and I'm pretty sure he could be like a world championship maybe contender.
Oh, for sure.
Within the next year.
Yeah, within like 6 months, I'd even say.
Like, I need Chad Gable to just become the second coming of Kurt Angle real quick.
He's
okay?
he's already on his way there.
He's on his way there, and I'm here for it because Kurt Angle, like, he's like one of my favorite wrestlers ever. Like, and
All he has to do is pop a perk.
that's it. He's got to go break his neck and pop a couple perks, and then he's Kurt Angle. But nah. So I think that's where Chad Gable's future lies, and plus with Drew McIntyre, he's got so many threads tied to
Yeah.
CM Punk. I'm pretty sure you can pretty much just say I think CM Punk might get involved with the Money in the Bank match, though. Like it might look like Drew McIntyre's about to come up here and grab it, and be get his second chance, third, fourth chance at the World Heavyweight
Okay. All right.
Championship.
Hold on. First chance
That was Seth.
was his first chance was what's it called? Crown Jewel.
Crown Jewel with Seth, right?
His second chance was day one. Then the Royal Rumble. Then Elimination Chamber succeeded. Won, but also failed at WrestleMania, so that's four.
Well, he did win at WrestleMania. He just got cashed in on.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm kind of counting that as a failed chance. He held
Yeah.
it for 5 fucking minutes.
Facts.
And then failed the number one contendership that week on Raw.
And Jey Uso got that one.
And then from there, he failed at Clash of the Castle.
Against Damien.
So he's on chance number 7 in the last year.
He's on chance number 7, so this championship has just been eluding him this entire time. And the one time he had it for 5 minutes, and his fucking ego got in the way. So, like, I think CM Punk could very much get involved with this match and, like, rob Drew yet again of getting the world title. So, like, it'll be like Drew's coming up, and he's, like, climbing the ladder. He's about to go and grab the briefcase, and then here's CM Punk tips the ladder over. Or something like that, or, like, shakes it so that he falls.
I mean, I 100% think you're right about that, but I just want to touch base on everybody else in that respect. I think this men's Money in the Bank is going to be run in Central. Carmelo and Andrade actually kind of have the edge on everybody else. I mean,
They're not involved with anybody else.
Andrade could have the run-in from the Legado del Fantasma,
But even then,
Melo's not going to have anybody. Andrade's most not likely not going to have anybody. LA Knight
has Logan Paul.
Has Logan Paul. Chad Gable has the Wyatt Six. Drew McIntyre has CM Punk, yeah. I don't know why the fuck I just froze like that.
And Jey Uso's got the bloodline.
Jey Uso has the new bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think about it, everybody except for Carmelo and Andrade could have their various run-ins here. I mean, you think about the fact that the tag match earlier is only a 3-on-3. Who's not in it? I think Tonga Loa is the one that's not in it. Who's to say that Solo doesn't send out Tonga Loa to go hit Jey Uso a few times?
I think Jacob Fatu is the one that's not in it. I think the Tonga brothers are in it.
I don't see the reason why I'm not sure about that is because when they were advertising it, they showed it as Solo with Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu on either side, with Tonga Loa slightly behind Fatu.
All right, so maybe it is Tonga Loa that gets sent out there. But regardless, Jey Uso has the new bloodline that he has to deal with. And then, I don't know, because Jacob Fatu's fucking record isn't that great. His criminal record ain't that great.
Yeah, I mean, you think about that. We don't even know if he's actually going to make it
there.
to Money in the Bank.
Are they going to let him into Canada with that kind of a record? So, I don't know. But
that's where it really gets kind of shitty because, like, you could have an absolute banger story going into a WrestleMania. Let's say they finally get a WrestleMania in London. Well, can't send this guy
because they won't pass the background check.
Because he's a felon.
I'm like, But, yeah, we didn't. So, Drew McIntyre's got so many narrative threads tied to CM Punk at this point, and just the world title in general. The fact that he's been eluded from this championship so many times is kind of driving him insane. It's kind of the whole reason why he is this character that he is now. It's because, he's been derailed from the world title for 7 times now, 6 times now.
7 times since fucking November.
Even then, if you want to go back and count, like, that Clash of the Castle, the first one with Roman Reigns, like, when the Bloodline got involved and robbed him of that, Like, this shit has been going on for a while, and that's kind of what's making Drew McIntyre become this kind of the heel character that he is now.
Yeah, for sure.
But then you got Jey Uso. He's, like, the most over guy on Monday Night Raw right now. I would be... Yeet! It's crazy. Like, I was just at Monday Night Raw this past Monday when they were in Boston, right? dude.
I was selling beer, unfortunately.
He was selling beer, but
Fun job, but I'd rather be at Raw.
yeah, but I was at Monday Night Raw this past Monday when they were in Boston, and I gotta tell you, man, like I've been in the crowd with Jey Uso. I mean, I was at WrestleMania. I witnessed his entrance against Jimmy Uso. That was nuts.
Dude,
But
even the Rumble too. The Rumble was fucking insane. The incredible pop when we had Jay out there
mhm,
and then Jimmy at number 2. That shit was fucking
that was
nuts.
nuts. That was shit was wild. Like I popped here at home for that shit. I can only imagine what it was like
Dude,
at Tropicana.
I couldn't fucking hear. I could barely hear Jimmy's music.
Yeah, it just you heard the intro and then that was
You
it,
heard the whole fucking
and then the whole crowd went
yeah.
berserk.
I mean, you could barely hear it on TV because the acoustics at Tropicana Field is fucking dog shit.
Oh, it was that bad, huh?
No, the acoustics in like I got back to the hotel room after the Royal Rumble, and I go on Reddit. I see people. It's like, oh, terrible crowd, and I'm like, the fuck you talking about? I almost lost my eardrums about fucking 20 times, and then I see clips of it, and I'm like, damn, are the acoustics really that fucking bad in there? You need to like, no.
Yeah, y'all did sound a little dead. I can't lie from the TV, but
You want to talk about when we really got loud though? Even on like the acoustics were so bad, but I could remember our loudest points. We sung Nakamura's song well into when he was in the ring, and you could still hear it on TV. That's some of our loudest points, but like overall, like it was incredibly fucking loud, but you couldn't hear it on TV because I mean, like the camera was out in a the hard cam.
yeah,
It was out in a fucking void. It was in the outfield with almost nobody around it, and that's like where the main source of microphone comes from. Because
yeah,
they had to set it up in the outfield instead of in stands,
yeah.
and there was literally nobody around the hard cam. So that's a big adder to why there was no fucking acoustics.
Makes sense. Yeah, but I gotta tell you, man. Jey Uso, man. Back to what I was saying. I was that Raw, dude. I witnessed a Jey Uso pop at WrestleMania. That was crazy. This was the craziest Jey Uso pop
It's because
ever.
now you add the Fireflies to it too.
Exactly. Like this was the craziest Jey Uso pop ever. Like the entire crowd. I shit you not. Um, everybody. Not one person was in a chair when Jey Uso was coming out. Like, and we all doing the thing. Obviously, we got the phone lights on and whatnot. And like even like was like surrounded by like a line of people like as he was walking in through the stands. Like it was insane. This is like he's so super over right now. And like I think that and like before I would have told you even like just 6 months ago I would have been like, yeah, Jey Uso's a great character. He's awesome, but I don't think he's ever going to be a world title holder ever. But ever since Backlash and WrestleMania, man, I gotta tell you, my opinion has changed like entirely. Like this dude could hold a world title and be excellent
This
with it
dude's about to take the title of him from fucking Carmelo.
for real. That's why I'm thinking like my whole entire opinion of Jey Uso came from really good to extremely positive now, and like and it only took like 5 6 months.
Oh yeah, for sure. I
Like
mean, it was stock stock was up like that.
like it was like when we it's like when we shocked the market and we put like fucking GameStop to the moon back in 2021. That's what this was like, and now like my opinion of and like Dogecoin to the fucking moon and you know what I mean, but like now I'm like, this dude can be a world champion, and I legitimately think that Jey Uso gonna climb up that ladder. He gonna get this yeet case, and he's gonna be Mister Yeet in the bank.
Now, I 100% agree, but
Like,
unfortunately, I don't think he's going to cash in on a world's title. I was talking to you about this earlier. What I really think is going to happen is you're going to have this new bloodline versus old bloodline situation going on. Roman's going to return. Jimmy's going to return. They're going to need Jay. But where's Jay? Jay's over on fucking Raw. Cody's going to be the world champion. So he's not going to cash in on Cody. So, well, what does he do? He goes over and he cashes in on the United States Championship. So that way he can be over there. He can be there to take down Solo, the fucking Tongans, Jacob Fatu. He does that with Roman, Jimmy, goddamn fucking Who knows? Maybe Zilla comes and Zilla's one of the good guys.
Hmm.
I mean, they're this family goes so. There's also what's his name? Starts with an eight with an H. Hikaloa, is that his name? Something like that.
Yeah, I think you got it.
Yeah, there's him. There's whoever WWE trademarked Caesar Sikoa. There's whoever Caesar Sikoa is gonna be. This family goes so fucking deep, but they're gonna bring Jay over to SmackDown to be a part of this story. They can't keep him out of this story,
Yeah.
and I think the best way to do that without forcing him back into another tag team is for him to win this briefcase and use it to cash in on the mid card title. Because it's obvious he's not going to cash in on Cody Rhodes. He
No.
would never cash in on Cody Rhodes. But if you put him in a situation, even if you wait until October for him to cash in on it, which is right around Survivor Series time, because it's obvious that LA Knight's going to win the
United
United
States
States
belt.
Championship at SummerSlam. So you give LA Knight that title at SummerSlam, you let them ride it out. Have LA Knight lose it to a heel at who knows? Maybe he loses it to like Jacob Fatu, and then Jay comes in, cashes in on Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, that's way down the line. We got a whole year of thinking what Jey Uso gonna do with this yeet case, but I can guarantee you that he's gonna be the one grabbing it on Saturday night. So
The money in the bank.
the money in the bank. That's a good one. That's a
Jay
little tough
Uso
to
came
say.
up with that.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's true. But it's just I think he's gonna be your new Mr. Money in the Bank, and
Oh, for sure, for sure.
the whole entire Toronto crowd is going to go absolutely nuts when it happens. So I don't know what he's gonna do with the briefcase, but I could totally see him doing that. Bringing the United States belt, taking the United States belt, and going back to SmackDown where Roman is, or I could even see him. I could see him becoming a world heavyweight champion too, but that would depend on what the narrative threads are around that title.
Yeah, because
But
you also have to think Gunther's definitely gonna have it going to Bash in
100%,
Berlin. They don't want to diminish what Gunther's already done. He's been the longest reigning this. He's been fucking king of that.
King of the Ring. He's got
Yeah,
fucking
so I mean,
longest
they're not gonna give
Intercontinental.
him a short reign. So if he does end up being world heavyweight champion, he's probably gonna have to wait until WrestleMania or beyond to cash in.
And you never know. I mean, Damian Priest held that money in the bank until WrestleMania, so
Uh, I mean, yeah, but at some point, if they do the same make him wait as long 2 years in a row, doesn't it kind of just
it does seem a
become
little bit
predictable?
predictable for sure.
So
But
I think it would be a lot less like, yeah, kind of predictable because I'm predicting it now, but I think it would be a lot better for them to just put him in that direction to be with his family right off the bat, because that does seem like his only way to help his family fight his family, and he needs to be able to do that before Survivor Series, because I think it's pretty obvious at this point it's going to be new bloodline versus old bloodline at Survivor Series.
yeah, and you might not even need the Money in the Bank to even get inserted into that. It's a big enough feud where you can kind of just bring him over. But you never know. Of course, it's going to depend on what the narratives are going to be, what the storylines are going to be. But regardless, Jey Uso is going to be your Mr. Money in the Bank. Chelsea Green's going to be your Miss Money in the Bank. And our predictions, obviously. And Braun Breaker's probably going to be your new Intercontinental Champion. Damian Priest.
Seth.
Seth has said Damian Priest might stay the champ. Seth might become the champ. You never know. And then, of course, the Bloodline is going to definitely go over for this one.
For sure.
So that's going to do it for this. Go and follow all the social medias. We are on X. We are on Twitter. Twitter is X. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. It's some iteration of Front Row Access on there. Our Gmail is frontrowaccess15@gmail.com. Go ahead and send us any suggestions there. Pepsi, hit us up, and we'll see you next time.
Deuces. Ooses.